Rohan was a 32-year-old single dad. Life had been harsh on him ever since his wife passed away in an accident 7 years ago. From that moment, his little boy Arav became his whole world. Days for Rohan were not easy. He worked multiple delivery jobs during daylight just to keep food on the table. Nights were spent applying for stable jobs online, and in between, he always made sure to read bedtime stories to Arav, never letting the child feel the emptiness in their lives. Rohan had recently applied for a job at a reputed corporate company. It wasn't just about money, it was about stability, dignity, and a chance to secure Arav's future. He was desperate, yet hopeful. One rainy evening, as he drove back home in his old second-hand car, he noticed a woman standing on the roadside with her little daughter. The rain was pouring heavily, and no taxi or cab seemed to stop for them. Without thinking twice, Rohan slowed down, rolled the window down, and said kindly, "Ma'am, would you like a ride? You and your little one will catch a cold in this weather." The woman hesitated for a moment. After all, accepting a ride from a stranger was risky. But seeing her daughter shivering, she finally agreed. Her name was Ananya, and her daughter's name was Mira. Glowing star, the unexpected bond. The car ride began silently, but soon the children broke the ice. Arav and Mira started chatting and giggling in the backseat as if they were long-lost friends. Their laughter filled the car, softening the tension between the adults. Rohan and Ananya also began talking. Through their conversation, Rohan learned that Ananya was also a single parent. She too was raising her daughter alone, though she didn't share much about her personal struggles. "Life with kids is tough, isn't it?" Rohan said with a faint smile. Ananya nodded. "Yes, but they're also the reason we keep going." Rohan sighed. "I'm trying really hard. I've even applied for a job recently. If I get it, maybe I can finally afford a better school for Arav. He deserves so much more than I can give." Ananya listened quietly. She looked at him. The way he spoke of his son with so much love and responsibility touched her deeply. But she didn't reveal her own truth. She simply said, "You're a good father, Rohan. The world needs more people like you." When they reached her destination, she thanked him sincerely. Before leaving, she said with a warm smile, "Sometimes, helping strangers brings blessings you don't even imagine." Rohan thought nothing of it and drove away. Glowing star, the interview day. 2 days later, Rohan dressed in his cleanest shirt and trousers, clutching his modest folder of documents. It was the day of his interview at the corporate company. His hands trembled slightly. This job meant everything. He entered the conference room, nervous but prepared. He placed his resume on the table, then looked up at the panel of interviewers. And froze. Sitting at the head of the panel was none other than Ananya, the same woman he had given a ride to in the rain. His eyes widened. His mind screamed, "How is this possible?" Ananya, now in her professional avatar, smiled politely and said, "Mr. Rohan, welcome. Let's begin the interview." Rohan's heart pounded. He was terrified that she might think he had given her that ride to get some kind of favor. He decided then and there, he would not mention that night. He would only rely on his skills and honesty. Glowing star proving himself. The interview began. The other panelists asked questions about his past experience, problem-solving abilities, and goals. Rohan answered with honesty and confidence. He spoke about his hard work, his willingness to learn, and his dedication. At one point, he said, "I may not have fancy degrees, but what I do have is sincerity. I know the value of hard work. I don't give up, no matter how difficult life gets. I just need one chance to prove myself." His words carried weight. They weren't just lines from a textbook. They came from a man who had lived through struggle and pain but never let it break him. The panel was visibly impressed. Even Ananya, though she kept her professional composure, felt a deep respect for him. Glowing star, the revelation. After the interview ended, the other panelists left the room. Only Ananya remained. She looked at Rohan and said softly, "You didn't mention that we met before." Rohan's face turned red. I didn't want you to think I was trying to take advantage of that situation. That night, helping you was just being human. Nothing more. Ananya's eyes softened. And that's exactly what makes you different. Most people help only when they expect something in return. But you helped because it was the right thing to do. There was a pause. Then she continued, Rohan, I am the owner of this company. I built it from scratch after going through my own struggles as a single mother. I know how difficult it is to raise a child alone. I see myself in you. Rohan couldn't believe his ears. The woman he had randomly helped was not only an interviewer, but the owner of the entire company. Ananya smiled. Congratulations, Rohan. The job is yours. Glowing star, a new beginning. Tears welled up in Rohan's eyes. For years, life had tested him, but finally, his honesty and kindness had brought him to this moment. He joined the company and quickly proved himself to be one of the most hardworking employees. Arav and Mira's friendship grew stronger. Slowly, so did the bond between Rohan and Ananya. They started spending time together outside work, sometimes taking the kids to the park, sometimes sharing meals after long days. Both had wounds from the past, but in each other, they found comfort and understanding. Months later, Rohan realized that fate had not only given him a job, but perhaps a second chance at love and family. Glowing star, moral of the story. This story teaches us something powerful. Kindness always comes back, sometimes in ways we can never imagine. Life may be unfair, but honesty, sincerity, and compassion will always open doors. And sometimes, a stranger you help on a rainy night might just change your life forever.